guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back at one of my favorite random parking lots because we have something unique sitting here. This is a 2021 Lexus NX 300H. What makes this one more unique and special? It's the first time you could get an NX 300H with the F Sport badge on it, and this particular one is just one of 1,000 examples that are called the Black Line Edition. It's a special edition. But before we get into this compact luxury SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Lexus, they've been making vehicles since 1989. It's that premium arm of Toyota. One thing is for certain, if you're looking for reliability, you're looking for luxury, but you're also looking for high resale value, Lexus seems to check off a lot of boxes. Now, this NX is very unique because we're on the brink of a redesign, but I want to find out, is it worth it? Is the price worth it? Is it, now the time? Is it worth now the time to get an NX 300H if you're looking for style, that fuel sipping strategy that this thing is good with, and also when it comes to that luxury side of things. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2021, first time ever, NX 300H F Sport with the special Black Line Edition and see really, is it worth the price? Right off the bat, you're gonna notice this color. It really, I don't know, it really does something fun. It makes me smile. It's called Celestial Blue. Really thinks that it fits all the body lines to a T. When we started at the front of the business, things are a little dated, and let me explain that to you. The NX 300H has been around basically unchanged since 2014. So it does have that older style of having the separate daytime running lamp from the headlight. Now the good news is you're gonna get LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and I do like the overall size of the housing. It is on the smaller side, and it does fit very well with the refresh bodywork that came into existence in 2018. So there's been one refresh, and that's why, like I said, 2022 is supposed to be the redesign. Now, on the F Sport, what are you getting? You're getting this really nice metallic gunmetal gray. We have functional side air curtains, which is a nice touch. And then as you drop your way down, you're gonna get your lower LED fog lamps and some nice metallic silver. Almost looks like a brushed aluminum. When we come across that large open mouth spindle grille, you're not gonna confuse, like I say, you're not gonna confuse this grille with any other brand. F Sport, it's all that gunmetal metallic gray finish. As it waterfalls down, you're gonna have the blue around the Lexus badge. That lets you know that this is a hybrid. I also like the black chrome trim that goes around the whole perimeter of the grille. There's more of that metallic silver, but definitely for a luxury crossover SUV that's a hybrid, very aggressive look from the front because this is an F Sport. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you'll see very, very low slung hood. And the way they do the body lines is so smart because it's clean. Everything comes off the grille, goes towards the A-pillars and disappears. When we come around the bend, what are we getting on our special edition? Remember, this is a Black Line Edition, one of 1,000. You're gonna get these beautiful black chrome wheels, multi-spoke, 18-inch wheel. Love the design, something very, very unique. 225 on the width, 60 series sidewall, and because we are working with hybrid, we are all-wheel drive in this F Sport NX 300H. Another thing I think that is really working well is you're gonna get the Celestial Blue over every piece of body panel. So not only the fender flare, but also the fenders themselves. Nice, bold styling. You have your tasteful F Sport badge. That not only brings the sporty style, but they do retune the dampers, the shock absorbers, all four corners, and do some chassis work to give you a little bit sportier handling and ride in this crossover SUV. You're gonna get gloss black on the mirror caps, a little bit of chrome, and I'm gonna zonk it. They should have blacked this out, do like a blackout chrome like they did on the grille, but they have the turn signals built in. You have bright, shiny metalwork, both top and bottom, around the windows. Wouldn't you think that that would have been nice to have that in that black chrome finish? Aluminum roof rails, nice and low. You could get your crossbars. One of the other things that I really love about this setup is the beautiful body line. It really shows motion even though we're sitting here still. You do have the hybrid badge, and I always thought that that is a weird place to put it. Why not just put it on the lift gate? So I am gonna zonk that, but this is a hybrid, so you're gonna be able to get, like I said, the luxury, but also the fuel saving that goes with a hybrid setup. We work our way towards the rear. For a compact, this does have sporty lines, low slung roof. Like the way they flare out the trim around the quarter window. And then as we get to the back, what are we working with? We are working with a nice low roof spoiler. It's got a little bit of a kick up there with your third brake light. I'm gonna zonk this. This should be tucked underneath there and just swing down. They did a great job on the taillights. I really love the way Lexus does their LED taillights, the F Sport badge. And then as we kind of keep dropping down, of course you got your 300H. That lets you know it's a hybrid technology. The thing I'm gonna have to zonk are these fake vents. Why do they even have to have that there? Just leave it smooth, but there's some of that dark chrome finish I was telling you about. And I like the way it's super clean otherwise, besides the fake vents from the rear. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see that hybrid power in this NX 300H. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hydraulic hood struts, and you know what? For the most part, tasteful engine cover. And let's talk about engine and what's happening underneath this hood. Because it's a hybrid, you do have a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline four. That's gonna be mated to one electric motor. That's gonna give you 194 horsepower. The interesting thing is the regular gasoline version of this model has 235 horsepower. So that's a bummer and a zonk for having that much less horsepower. It is mated to a CVT, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60. Don't be fooled by the sporty appearance. 0 to 60 is a sluggish 8.1 seconds. The vehicle does weigh 4,180 pounds, but here's where you're gonna win. For being a crossover SUV, 33 in the city, 30 on the highway, that gives you 420-mile range on the highway. It could tow up to 2,000 pounds, and like I said, has that sport tune suspension, and you could also go full EV when you're less than 35 miles per hour. Nice to have this technology. I really feel like hybrid technology takes away the range anxiety, but why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see what special touches the Blackline Edition brings to the table. All right guys, we're inside this 2021, say it with me, Lexus NX 300H F Sport Blackline Special Edition. I know you're saying to yourself, well Joe, I've been looking for a luxury crossover compact SUV. There's so many to choose from, but I'm thinking I want to go hybrid because gas prices are going up a little bit and I don't want to have to deal with that kind of stuff. How much is this one? So this is where I say to you, MSRP, right? And that's the big question. Is this vehicle worth what you're going to be paying for it? So here it is. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. MSRP is right around $47,000. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panels. So I absolutely love the door panels. You have that beautiful soft touch material. The blue stitching on this F Sport really just pops. I even love that silver trim. So much better than gloss black. And that's the one thing on this interior, no gloss black. So thank you, Lexus. Armrests, same story. The soft material, the blue stitch work, feels good. The zonk is that door pocket. You maybe will get a churro from Costco in there, just one. And I would just leave it at a bottle of water because you're barely gonna be able to enjoy that churro anyways because it's gonna be smushed. But going from the door panel to the dash, things get a little dated because remember, like I said, there hasn't been a major redesign since 2014. So the way this kind of extends out makes it a little bit claustrophobic in here. I do like the stitching and more of that silver trim, soft touch material. And then really here's where things get a little bumpy when it comes to zonks. Instead of getting the little over 10-inch infotainment system, we're stuck with the 8-inch. Not that that's a bad thing, but definitely size does matter when it comes to infotainments, and it would be nice for it to be a little bit larger. You have Apple CarPlay, you do have Android Auto. Here's the other bummer. You could touch it and put your fingerprints all over it like I just did, but it's not a touchscreen. So that to me is definitely another zonk, but you do have a nice large, fills up the whole 8 inches of backup camera. You get the little whirly twirly sound, letting everybody know you're about to run them over in your hybrid. Pretty clear. Could be just a little bit better, but at least it takes up the whole screen size. If you're wondering, well, Joe, how do we go through climate? How do I get my climate controls and all that? You have to use the trackpad, and we'll get to that in a second. Hybrid, blue button, power on. That's because we're in a hybrid. AC vents. Of course, you're going to get the tasteful analog clock. We do have dual climate control, and even though this looks very dated and it sticks out, it's easy to operate. So I definitely give them 2 thumbs up for that. My favorite thing, especially now that it's hotter than heck in Florida, is you get ventilated and heated seats. So I really, really like that touch for you and your passenger. CD player as well. So go ahead, get Barry Manilow out, rock all day long, and you can listen to your tunes right there on your CD player. Radio controls. This is going to control that CVT. You do have the different driving modes, Sport, Normal, and Eco. You just twist it and you can get into your different modes, and I'll show you that when you come over to the business end. Here's how you're going to operate that screen through the Lexus trackpad, which I highly recommend only using when you're parked. I do like the way they brought the blue stitching onto the shift lever. The silver trim is nice, and guess what? It hides the fingerprints. There's that blue trim. 2 cup holders, key fob. Look at that, F. No, it doesn't stand for what you think. It stands for F Sport with the blue stitching, and you get this nice leather condom for your key fob with all the buttons on the back so you can protect your key fob. A little bit of blue because this is F Sport. 2 cup holders. You got a little palm rest, and then watch this. You ready? 1, 2, 3, boom. You actually have a mirror here. So you can take this out and just like stare at yourself and just give yourself affirmations, you know, those positive affirmations. You're great. You're wonderful. People like you and they like being around you. Another thing is there's a little secret compartment here with some felt lining. So if you have that family heirloom, you could put it in here and it's not going to get scratched. And then you just put it back. Nice. Soft on the armrest. Pull this up. What do we got? We got a felt line tray, so you could put some nice jewels here, maybe some rubies or some emeralds. Take it out, more felt lining. So if you have that baseball that Michael Jordan signed, you could put it in here and it's not going to scratch or rub off his name. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, why'd you say Michael Jordan? Don't you remember he played for the White Sox? Duh. You got 2 USBs, an aux jack, and a 12 volt. So you got plenty of connectivity, which is great. And just to double back on that, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, like I said. Seats, F Sport, they're sporty as heck. Love them. The blue stitching, nice bolstering, full electric assist for the passenger and the driver. And I'm telling you, these seats, they belong like in the RCF. That's how nice they are. Headliner, standard black headliner, but you do get a sunroof, which is a nice touch. I got plenty of headroom. Even though everything's kind of coming at me, it's like, come at me, bro. And I'm like, back up, back up. It is, like I said, I got room, but yet I also feel claustrophobic at the same time. So figure that one out. I'm going to need some therapy. Get over here, though. I want to show you behind the wheel of this Lexus. All right, guys, here we are, business time in the NX 300h F Sport. You do have 3 memory seat settings. That's a lot for this type of vehicle. Down below, you're going to get that very tasteful Lexus aluminum sill plate looking clean. And then check out the foot box. It looks like it's right out of a hashtag race car. You have your aluminum dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. These special F Sport NX floor mats with the blue. That's worth an additional 5 horsepower per mat, so do the math. You got your seat controls, easy to get to, lower lumbar. Remember, I'm 6 feet tall. Height-wise, I feel totally fine in here. Steering wheel is electric, tilting, and telescoping. And then, even though Lexus steering wheels look dated, they still look great. The F Sport badge, the blue contrast stitching, the different types of leather, nice thickness, flat black on the buttons. You do have paddles behind the wheel. That's actually for the regen braking. And then speaking of what's behind the wheel is a little bit of a mixture of analog and digital. So if you look at the gauges, you're going to have an analog speedometer, fuel gauge, and cooling gauge. But watch this. You go into a different mode. Right now we're in Eco. You have a power meter. Now in Sport, you got a tachometer. I like touches like that. In the center, you do have a 4.2-inch digital display, which you can scroll through a cornucopia of information, including a G meter. So nice to have all those readouts and touches. One extra thing that I think that this is missing is a head-up display. So I am going to have to zonk that. But let's get to the back seat and see how your passengers are going to enjoy riding in this Blackline. All right, guys, back seat time in this hybrid compact crossover SUV. And then look at this. I'm still 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room, even with the batteries and all that. Sometimes you kind of really shrink down this back area, but it feels good. Backs of the seats, same thing. Feels really good, nice soft material. You have large pockets here. And here's what you're gonna wanna do. You're gonna wanna put some cardstock back here, not paper. And the reason why you're gonna want some cardstock is so your passengers can make a fan for themselves, so they can fan themselves. And I'm gonna explain why in a second. As we slide across, you do have rear AC vents, but here's the problem. No connectivity. Knock, knock. Who's there? No USB, no 12 volt, not even 2 cans and a string so that you could talk to somebody. The reason why you want them to be fanning themselves is so that they're not on their phones, because if their phones die, your passengers, which we know who they are, your kids, which sometimes you can't stand because they're always on their phone. When the phone dies, it's going to be your misery, not mine. But you know what? The seats feel good. You could be fanning yourself, not on your phone. And if you don't want to fan yourself, you got a nice armrest, and it's softer than a hoarded barrel of Charmin. Hit that little guy. 2 cup holders. Put it back. Flip it back. Seats are sporty. This is an F Sport. Let's get to that cargo area and see what we could haul in our Blackline edition with the luggage. All right, guys, time to get into that rear cargo area. Hit the button under the Lexus badge. It's a little bit faster opening. It's a lot slower when it's closing, but the great news is, even when having the hybrid technology, you're gonna get plenty of width, plenty of height. When you look at the Blackline edition, you're still getting the continuation of all that beautiful blue touches, even on the rear cargo mat. And speaking of the cargo area, what do we have to offer? You're basically looking at, with the seats up, 16.8 cubic feet of space. You fold the seats down, 53.6 cubic feet of space. Now the great news is, going Blackline edition, you're gonna receive a set of 0 Halliburton luggage. So that would be unique to this particular model. Yes, there are other models in Lexus's lineup where you could also do the Blackline special edition, but this one, you're gonna get, like I said, all of them, you get the 0 Halliburton luggage set, but for this particular one, you do get it to fit nicely. I do like the aluminum touches here for when your kids are taking that luggage and not lifting it out of the car and just dragging it. I also like, when you lift this up, you do have a nice little storage area for some Skittles. You could pour at least a 5-pound bag. Look at this area. Wonderful to just put some Twinkies down in there, hide them for the trips. When nobody's looking, you can sneak a couple. But you know what? I'm done being sneaky. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this NX 300H for a spin. All right, guys, we're in this 2021, say it with me one more time, Lexus NX 300H F Sport Blackline edition. Now, the reason why I didn't pull right onto the highway is because you really need to time exactly when you're gonna get on because of that 0 to 60. Over 8 seconds is a little sluggish. And I'm not talking about I'm gonna go drag race my F Sport NX 300H. It's just I would like to get out of my own way, which would be nice. Now, visibility is awesome, even though, like I explained, the dash kind of extends out. Visibility is great out the front, out the back. The windows are nice and large. And speaking of the windows, they're really doing a great thing with sound deadening and the thickness of glass to try to keep a nice, quiet environment in here. The infotainment, it's on the smaller side. For an 8-inch display, it's kind of far from where you're sitting, and you know what? I guess that's good reason why you can't touch it, because it's pretty far from where you're at and you're really going to have to stretch. But getting out onto the highway sport mode, here we go, on throttle. There goes somebody on a skateboard that just passed me. Now, if you're hearing like a motorcycle sound, there's not a motorcycle next to me like a sport bike. That's actually sound that's being created by the speaker system. Really does not match well with what's going on with the internal combustion engine. So it kind of feels a little weird, but I guess they're trying to create that sporty sensation. The good news is they did retune the shock absorbers to give you a little bit better handling and feedback from the steering wheel. And then overall, I mean, here we are driving down the highway, and it's got a smooth ride, which is really nice, especially for a compact. Sometimes you don't have that nice smooth feeling, but with the seats, especially in this F Sport, being very comfortable and also supportive, you're getting a full array of all of the nice details that you expect from a brand like Lexus. It will be interesting though to see what 2022 brings. I know how you feel about CVTs, and yes, we do have one in this Lexus, so that's just something to be aware of. At highway speeds, you're not really feeling it, but obviously on acceleration, you're getting that loud droning sound from the whole system. You do have simulated gears to go through with that CVT by using the paddles, and you do have the regen braking, which is a nice touch as well. But I think that if you use the paddles, you put it over into manual shift mode. That's third gear. It gives you a gear indicator at the bottom. Second. On throttle, here we go. It's really crazy because I'm going through the gear, the quote-unquote gears, the simulated gears, and the tachometer is just staying pegged. So I really don't understand that type of ECU tuning. I would expect the revs to drop a little bit to give you the sensation that you're going through a 6-speed traditional automatic transmission. But the great news is that everywhere you're touching, it feels very, very high quality. You have that wonderful mirror for your words of positive affirmation every day. And you have that fuel sipping that you're going to get. The fuel sipping strategy where you're really going to maximize your MPGs 420 miles on the highway. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what the NX 300H F Sport Blackline Edition is all about in this celestial blue. We're going to get back to where it all began for this review here on Rady's Rides. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another fun, incredible day here at our little undisclosed parking lot area. I definitely want to thank Zach and the rest of the crew over at Lexus and Toyota for allowing Rady's Rides access to this Blackline Edition. Like I said, one of 1,000. I think, you know what? If you're looking for something unique, something that's going to give you that reliability and definitely some major MPGs, this might be the compact luxury SUV that you've been looking for. But if you want to keep seeing vehicles like these, add them to your list, put them in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content, 2 ways to do it. Click the first link in the description, become a Rady's Rides Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She's going to be winning the awards for 2021. Show Lori some love down there in that comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.